Hello, everyone, and welcome to Space CSDCEO Back to School Summit. I'm really looking forward to this next session because it's all about one of my favorite topics, helping our youngest learners to shine. And so the session, as you may know already, is called Engaging Primary Learners with Confidence. And so we're going to explore just how much our early years students are actually capable of when we actually give them the right tools, the right support, as well as the space and time to take ownership of their learning. My name is Alex. I work with Space CDU as a success specialist, and I'm very thrilled to be co-presenting this session today with a partner that we admire at Space CDU greatly, Hélène Lucas. And so Hélène is a pedagogical consultant with the CSDCEO, that would refer to the French-speaking Catholic district of East Ontario. She has spent years transforming classrooms into spaces where actually curiosity and student voice take the lead. And so she is deeply experienced in what we call in French pédagogie entrepreneuriale consciente. And she has worked with even the youngest learners, yes, even kindergarten students, to build confidence, independence, and a real love of learning. I'm just going to go back to these French three words that you heard and you already maybe forget. Pédagogie entrepreneuriale consciente. And that will be the poll for today. I want to share with you a poll that will be about your best translation for this term in French. What will be your best translation in English, actually? So I'm going to launch the poll right now, and we have three options. You don't have to translate from scratch. We give you three options. Don't panic. It's okay. You would see now three different options, either mindful entrepreneurial pedagogy, or maybe conscious entrepreneurial pedagogy, or even intentional entrepreneurial pedagogy. So we invite you right now to vote. Take some time to think about what would be your best translation. We don't give you so much idea about what is pédagogie entrepreneuriale consciente, but we are very curious to know from your English mindsets, would you prefer the word mindful, conscious, or intentional for your translation? And of course, why would you make this choice? And we will share the results at the end, and it will be a topic for conversation at the end of this session. As you are voting right now, just a few housekeeping rules. As you've heard, we are recording this session, so you will be able to access that after and also share it with people who could not come today, potentially. Please use the Q&A box for any questions or even the chat directly for discussions. It can be as lively as you want it to be. We're here for that. And of course, tell us how we did in the survey that we will share at the end of this session. So going back to Hélène, she has started her expertise at conferences like IDE, in publications such as École Branchée, and in a variety of professional learning networks across Ontario. And so today we get to learn directly from her strategies, experiences, and for sure, passion. So over the next 45 minutes, we'll show you how to streamline documentation, strengthen family engagement, and empower learners to take charge from day one of the school year. So let's get started right away, and please help me give a warm virtual welcome to my co-presenter and friend, Hélène Lucas. Hello, Hélène. Welcome. How are you feeling?
Hi, Alex. Thanks. I'm feeling great to be with you today, with you guys today. Thanks for your intro. It'll be my pleasure to spend the next hour with you. Um, and at the end, like Alex said, if you need to reach us, do not hesitate to write to us during the hour that we're together. So we'll just start today by quickly showing you a student in action. So we'll start a little video and then I'll give you the context of that video, and that's what we'll be building on throughout all this presentation. So we're seeing here a small student, a junior K student, um, working in his portfolio independently. Donc, just to set the oh,
Sorry, my bad. Up. There
that's
we go back. Go ahead, Ellen.
just to give you the setting. So the student is responding to a book that the teacher read with them, The Color Monster. And this is the first step in the digital portfolio there, because even in junior K, this class is doing youth writing workshops. So this is the first step of their writing workshop. They had to identify the monster um, will be the center of their work during the next few weeks. So that's only the first step. We wanted to present you this video to show you that even at that young age, and that's at the beginning of the year, the end of the first semester, the kids are able to go grab the iPad, do the work, take the pictures, and there's many different ways to take proofs with this digital portfolio. We'll get through them during all our conversation today. So if we can just
Excellent.
switch next, yes, thank you.
Yes, just showing one more time. Hop là. There we go.
Thanks. So like Alex said, in our school board we are going working on applying entrepreneurial conscious pedagogy, and the digital portfolio was a great help for us do that. It wasn't just using a new tool with the kids. Our since spaces edu is more than a tool. It's a way to transform the pedagogical documentation for each student so that they can undertake and collect their own evidence of learning, even at a really young age, like we just showed you. From we're starting the students from junior kindergarten using that tool in their digital portfolio. Teachers guide the students to deposit either solutions, high performance strategies that work well for them, or adapted their needs and strengths that work good for them as well. So they encourage students to deposit things that they want to work on or need to improve. It's a really easy the portfolio is really easy to use for the young kids. They can that will go through as well during the presentation, but kids can um, record their voice, they can draw, they can write if they want, which they will do as the years go on. We'll go through that through the presentation, but it's really easy to do. So just I wanted to share with you, I talked with a teacher and then with one of the students, and that's what they had to share for us today. So Shana, a senior kindergarten teacher, said, I empower my students to use Space Edu independently from the start so that each one is able to record their own evidence of learning. One of our goals uh, in our school board was to, since conscious entrepreneurial conscious pedagogy is mainly a way for students to take initiative and act independently, this portfolio was a way for us that the student could be independent in his assessment process. So that's what this student wanted to share, that even at this age, we habilitate students to take ownership of their assessment proofs. So that pedagogy puts forward sets a mindset that empowers learners, even the youngest ones, to make choices about their learning, take initiative, like I just said. They usually play three roles. And once again, well, okay, they usually play three roles. We want them to undertake the roles of an initiator, director, and manager. They reflect on their experiences. They own and they share their growth. So that pedagogy, when it's really installed in a classroom, in a school, allows students to learn in that kind of environment. It
It's
mattered
excellent.
for us. Oh,
Oh,
yes,
sorry, just a quick question here, Helen. It's excellent to hear that from actually um, pedagogical advisors, but also teachers, that it's very simple and easy to use. Because when we at Space Edu say that, we are not trusted so much. So it's very good to hear that also from actual users, daily users in the classroom, that Space Edu
absolutely.
is.
So if you go, Alex, to the next slide, you'll see. I spoke with Amelia, small students, and that's exactly what she said as well. It, like, um, talking about Spaces Edu, allows me to explain what I understand well by taking a video. It's easy to use, it's easy to do. Sorry, so I use it very often. Um, so exactly like you said, Alex, the portfolio is really, really easy to use once the students know how to use it.
And just also one question about what you said about the three different roles:
Yes,
initiator, director, and manager.
yeah.
Would they would not be like first is the first role and second they would be intertwined in the process, right?
Oh, good question. Absolutely. And some students will be more of a manager and have to develop being an initiator, or other students will initiate, are really leaders but need to work. And that's exactly how this pedagogy builds those three strengths. Like it's looking to make sure that students have the chance in the classroom to develop each one of those three roles.
Excellent. And so also just to see how it got implemented, I feel like your this pedagogy has been in CSDCEO, your district,
Yes,
for a long time.
it does.
And
Uh,
yes.
okay, now there's if you continue, I'll show you why we like from uh, the history, the implementation journey.
Yes, exactly. No problem. Let's go to the next slide.
So our initial introduction, because before using Spaces Edu, we were using À propos de moi, which is another portfolio, which was doing really great in our schools. But teachers found Spaces Edu on the website of my blueprint and were really, really curious because it gets the students to be even more independent in their work. Because just here to clarify, for us, it's not the teacher that will put the proofs, the learning proofs in the digital portfolio. It's really the students. So every work that it's in a student portfolio comes from the students. I needed to precise that because I didn't do. So when they discovered Spaces Edu, which is just like a another format of the portfolio, teachers wanted to go with that one. So what we did, we as an initial introduction, we started with that portfolio in one school. Maybe you can go to the next slide. Yeah, please, thanks. In one school only, starting with the junior, senior K, and then grade one. And in that class, there was mixed levels, so grade two, grade one, and two. And by the end of the year, grade three also were working on that digital portfolio. But from one thing to another, teachers from other school learned that because every teacher had access to Apropos de Moi before Spaces Edu, like 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. Then they learned that this new portfolio was running in one school, and they wanted to try as well. So second step, Alex, we officially with Alex started this experimental classes in that one school. We gave access to all the students in the school, and then they became that's a hard word. Laboratory classes, labo classes for all of our other schools in the school board, not only for other teachers but also for administrators, co-learners. So other school boards came in this school. They became really a school where we could go and see what was going on, and even Alex and their team, they would communicate with that those teachers to know how is it going, what's going on, how is it working. So it helped us. This school was really, really helpful for the other schools because their doors needed to be open. That was part of our, not, I will say contract, but it's not contract. That was part of the deal. We'll go ahead with your school. We choose your school among all the 25 schools. You're the ones that we choose, but you need to be we need to go and visit you when desired. And like I say, the administrators, like the superintendent, were often in their classrooms to see what's going on, how does it work, is it working, uh, is it helping to set up the conscious entrepreneurial pedagogy in our school board, etc. Then
It's
last year,
excellent, Hélène. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, sorry. Did you wanna? Are you okay,
And I
Alex?
wanted to just jump on your topic about this school being this laboratory, Notre
Yeah,
Dame du Rosaire. I think
yeah,
it really worked great for other schools to just look
absolutely,
at the neighbor and see, oh, they are doing great over there. And so why we could do the same basically with our students. So, but of course that um, locomotive school had to be as transparent as possible and just be open doors for the others to come and check out what's happening and how it works, how you try and errors and succeed in the end in the long run.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I like your comment. And to add to that, like we always say, the teachers had the mindset that it wasn't the teachers that were being examined. The kids from that school, Notre Dame du Rosaire, were going to teach kids from other schools to learn the digital portfolio. So that's the mindset that we set in that school for them to be really open to receive visitors. Then last year we opened a school from schools. I mean, from one of the biggest region. So how it works for us is that each high school, we have 7 high schools, and they all have elementary schools attached to them. So one of our seven region. Um, oh,
My apologies, a little technical issue. I
okay.
just jumped suddenly out. We
Okay.
just go back to the topic. I'm gonna share my screen once again. And sorry for the delay. Just, I hope it was not too much of a disturbance, but since it was a bit of a disturbance, there is also a question, Hélène, before we move on, from
Oh
Kevin
yeah, sure,
Sturt on the
sure.
chat. His
Yes.
question is about the tablets,
Ah.
where the tablets, the material of the tablets, a very big reason for the success.
Oh, good
They
question.
have kids in their primary schools using Chromebooks with less success. Just to my knowledge, I don't think do Chromebooks have the video for, let's say, out out in the world video, or just the video selfie version. And if it's the selfie version, maybe it's not the same process, but I'm not so sure about that. Would you have also an opinion, Hélène, to share
Yes.
about this?
Yes, Alex, and that's in one of our later in the presentation. We'll talk about the voyons, des problèmes et solutions, donc problems
Yeah.
and solutions. But yes, I can address it right now. So, uh, iPads are better for the smaller kids, but like you, for our from grade 2, 3, and up, it's Chromebooks. And now the IT department makes sure that the Chromebooks can be used as the tablet. So that's the better format. It's true that the video is not as good as the iPad, but once like the older kids get used to using the Chromebook, the video in the Chromebook, and it works fine in the honestly, like, to have seen it in our many different schools. Like I say, iPad is more efficient, but Chromebooks work as well, and it's a good use as well of the digital portfolio. I'll elaborate a bit later about that, but yes. Okay, thanks. Okay, so last year, what we did is, like I was saying, we grew the region, we grew the schools from all of one, our biggest region, and all those schools had access to the portfolio, digital portfolio, and all the kids from junior K to grade six. But I would say the schools concentrated really on primary level. Like they stopped at grade two, three, just for that first year last year since it was new. They did it like they were talking about it during une session de CAP, donc community of learning, professional learning. They were using the spaces edu during those times to get more and more used to it. So eventually, that's our wish list. Eventually, all of our schools, like this year, all of the schools will have access to spaces edu, and we wish that all the grades use it. The kids are getting older, and they'll be the one to do the push and support so that the teachers get on board with the digital portfolio because they're now used to using it and they want to use it to put proofs of their learning proofs in it, because one of the biggest reason is because the students have access to their proofs from one year to another. So when we work with the teachers, we tell the teachers, we encourage the teachers to show the kids how to access that proof from last year and to go see, wow, what did I how did I grow, where was I last year, where am I going this year, so they can use it to fix, to set some goals, or even, oh no, that strategy is not working for me anymore, or even to be a good reminder, why again was I using that strategy last year? And if they voice their, if the proof that they put in the digital portfolio was a voice, they hear themselves explain why, and sometimes it's just, it's a good reminder for that. So it's a really really powerful tool when you use all that components together, and uh, those components are really active in the classroom. That's where we'll be next year, hopefully. Okay, so it took us like those 5 years to be there. Now we're gluing all those pieces together. And like I say, it's the kids that do the push and support, that want to be, that want that um, the portfolio to be really used in the classroom.
It's excellent to hear your story about the CSDCEO who had before Space Edu a
Yeah.
great use of All About Me, which was also my blueprint platform. And so you moved, as we moved to Space Edu, you moved also with a good spirit and collaboration also with IT, as you answered to the question about the Chromebook. So it's, I think, a game of collaboration at every different levels, and basically go beyond your own status of, oh, I'm a teacher, I will not do this. Oh, I'm a student, I will not do that. But actually, no, you can blend a bit the different roles that are actually expected at the first place, maybe from traditional pedagogy.
Well, that's one of the things that got us really, really hooked, Alex, because your team is reachable easily. Comment dire? We can
Approachable.
communicate. Yeah, each teacher, we can communicate really, really easy with you, and you're open to the feedback and apply the feedback from the teachers, and they say it, and they say it. Thank you for the comment. And the teachers see it in action. So many times teachers reached out to you suggesting a new content or an adjustment, and you did that adjustment, and that's why they're so pleased with the product. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It reminds me of
No,
a,
it's
a
really, yeah.
yeah, it reminds me of a comment of our director of product at Space Edu that says, product request, feature request is the lifeblood of Spaces EDU. And so definitely everybody's comments, the users' comments,
Yeah,
daily comments is very important for us to know where we are and where we could actually go with Space EDU and My Blueprint in general. And yeah, there was a comment about self-reflection. It's excellent to hear the story about kids self-reflecting,
yeah,
but also time self-reflecting because of listening to a self-reflection that they did 1 year ago in an audio of 30 seconds, 1 minute ish.
exactly.
And then 1 year later or 2 years later, it enhances even more their current self-reflection, noticing what they reflected upon years before.
Exactly, and it's really powerful. Like it's an ownership of their learning capacities, and it's really powerful as well for teachers when they're doing different assessment proofs of conservations, or to have the student reflect on his reflections on his past reflections. So yeah, critical thinking at its best.
Excellent. But so I'm sure that with all those steps that you went through and the hurdles that you crossed with your district, it came also with quite a few challenges. I'm sure you want to tell us more about this.
Yes. Okay, so one of the first challenge that, and I put it in the first order because Alex said already, you need to have a really good we needed, I'll talk about this. We needed to have a really good collaboration with the IT department because they didn't always understand the usage of the portfolio. So what we did with them, we there was regular communication. Even Spaces Edu, the team offered to meet with the department, the director, everyone there. They could have the communication was fluid, but also this lab classes that I was talking earlier about, Notre Dame du Rosaire, they were invited. When we invited teachers from other schools, we sent the invitation. They didn't always come. They came twice last year, but they were invited to come and to see what's going on. With Alex, I would brainstorm on solutions, then bring solutions to the IT department. We needed to have a really close collaboration for them to really understand the efficiency of that portfolio, because it's for sure they wanted to make sure that it was secure on for everyone to use it. So that's it wasn't it was a challenge, but a challenge that has great solutions. You just have to set, like I say, we needed to assure regular communication. That's the first challenge that I noted. Then the second challenge, that's a great challenge, but it still was a challenge. Like I just showed you in the timeline, as we were going on through the years, many classes from different schools wanted to be added to the portfolio, but we couldn't do everyone at once because they needed to be like we needed to have a solid ground from our with that first school so they can be independent in the learning of the portfolio. That's how we did it. Different school boards would do different ways, but that's how we did it because we wanted at the pedagogical department. I'm a coordinator at the pedagogical department. We wanted to be able to work with the schools to help them out if they have questions, to direct them to spaces. We wanted to be there for them when they started so that they would start sans embûche. It would start smoothly, and it would be positive, and then they would want to continue. And so that's why we didn't want to stop the classes from getting spaces, but we wanted to start the classes right. So we did it by blocks. And like I said, this year, everyone will have access. So what we did to, one of the solutions for that is that the pedagogical services team, everyone, I didn't look for that, Alex, des conseillers pédagogiques,
Pedagogical
pedagogical
advisors or
consultants, yeah,
district leads. Yeah.
yeah, district leads, everyone had to come frequently in the school, labo school, to learn how to use it. So everyone in every when either my colleagues, either one of my colleagues was in either school, they could help out with Spaces Edu. It's like I said earlier, though, it's really easy to use. So it's just a quick reminder. How do I do that? And usually, the members of my team, they sit down with the students and not the teacher. Well, the teachers down there, but they sit down with the student to explain the portfolio, because it's the student that usually uses it really actively. So that was one of our solutions. It was that every member of our team learn to use it and be efficient with the portfolio. Building the autonomy of teachers first, then of students. Like I said, we were going through students, but students found it easier than teachers sometimes. Teachers at the beginning, even though everyone was excited to use it, they, like I introduced, they didn't want to it wasn't we didn't want them to take it as a new tool that they have to use. We wanted them to see it as a tool that the students would be able to use in the mindset of entrepreneurial conscious pedagogy. So we encourage learn self learning, because the spaces edu have uh, Alex, help me out maybe for that. You have different times where you have webinars for teachers that
Yes,
can learn, right?
yes, definitely. There is a direct link on our website where teachers for English or French side
Yeah,
can register for a free webinar. And so we
yeah.
have different sessions that we propose. Yeah, so that's always available for you.
Okay, thanks. And as well, we offered information sessions during PDs, where we were all together, where all the staff was together. One of the sessions, and each of those days, there were sessions about my blueprint, either for the older one or Spaces Edu, the older teachers of high school or Spaces Edu. There was always sessions for concerning this products, and we were also available to go during staff meetings just to make sure that everything was on track. Oh, so coming back to the question, one of the challenge, access to technological equipment, because like every school board, we are reaching a year where we need to renew all our equipment in the classes. So iPad works, Chromebooks work, but like we wanted to make sure that the teachers knew that you don't have to have one for one. Some classes on our school board have one, two, three iPads per class, and use only those one, two, or three iPads for the portfolio, because the portfolio works with the QR code. So you students don't need to be um, using the portfolio in the same time. So limited, some classes, like I assure you, some classes have limited access to technological equipment, and it's still going great.
It can be also like a ritual, I think, for collective use of the different resources. If there are not so many resources, just, I don't know, 3 tablets for 20 kids,
Yep.
just the idea of like subdividing in small groups, and then the ritual of I connect, I take um, my proof of
Oh,
learning, whether with a multimedia, audio or video, and then I disconnect and I give it to my comrades, my classmates, and so on. The organization itself can be also um, a proof of learning in a way of a way to learn and grow together.
absolutely, absolutely. Like in the next, what it looks like in action, we'll talk about, and that's one of the things that we'll talk about, Alex. Absolutely, it's important to teach the kids about that. I'll probably organize the information and data in the portfolio. That's not really a challenge. It's just I wanted to put it there that, like, when the kids put info in the portfolio, they need to organize but it's a great way to set up to be focused on learning skills and work habits. Like I wrote down organization, but it could be any one of those to co-construct the criterias together and work on that. So that's the main challenges that I put down. They're not. We wrote down challenges, but they're. It's nothing that it's not workable in a school board. As for us,
Yes, every challenges has their solutions, and
yeah,
maybe
exactly.
on other districts or other schools, you would have other solutions to the same challenges or other challenges, maybe. And so we're eager to know also about that in the chat if you want to share your experience for sure. And so how does it look straight away in action, concretely, Hélène?
Okay, donc routines are important at the beginning. So um, starting from kindergarten, make sure like that sheet is from a classroom, junior senior classroom. Um, Show the kids how to use their QR codes, have visuals like they're showed here, visual work throughs, have it installed in a routine. For example, in your stations, learning stations, if you have a reflection stations or a scheduled posting time, like at that time we'll stop, we'll reflect on our work. And well, this is what entrepreneurial conscious learning tools looks like in practice. The both pictures that Alex just posted. It's a 5-year-old scanning their QR code, selecting their work, and posting it in their digital portfolio. So that's exactly how it's working in our classrooms. Then they're doing co-learning in between students from same pardon same classes, same school, etc. Okay, so the stage really to have a good um, routine so that students know how to use it, when to use it, where to use it, but feel free as well to go and use it. Like develop the reflex to go and use it. Then from grade 1 to 3, the goal was to building independence, integrate integrating reflection, prompts, curriculum tie-ins. We want to encourage and anticipate the reflex to go, like I just said, the reflex to go and consign the new knowledge in the portfolio. So not wait for, as they would do in kindergarten, maybe not wait for Madame to tell us go put it, just do it by reflex because you want, by intuition, because you want to, because the student wants to put that proof of learning in his portfolio to have it further on. So, okay. I thought, Alex, sorry, I thought you were talking. Sorry about that. Rapidly, I'll
No,
go like student lead posting routines. It's a like we just showed you on the picture. Reflection forums, learning stations, peer support buddies. So maybe a student that is more plus habile, more pas capable, but yeah,
more
that
capable,
gets
yeah.
way, c'est correct. That
Yeah.
gets it faster than the other ones. Could be the teacher, the that will be co-learning with his other kids. Celebrate also the success. Don't stop and take a look at what's going on in the portfolio of each student. Reflect on it. Yeah, because I didn't talk about that now, but we'll talk about it later, Alex. I'll stop for here. So that's how it's going on in the classes. QR codes, go in the digital portfolio, write down, like Alex said, either by video, media, or put down a proof. And later we'll show you different kind of proofs as well that can be used, but the portfolio lets you use it like the way you wanted to use it. We'll show some proofs later on of what could it, how, what come at what could it be like. But yeah,
Yeah. That would be actually the third energy, I would call it. I like to call them energies. So the energies of the students, the
yeah,
energy of the teachers. And the third energy, I'm sure everybody are thinking about them right now. It would be the family gathering around the students for the students also to connect with the
Absolutely.
home, right?
Absolutely. Well, exactly concerning that, if we look at the family engagement, and that's one of our goals, not goals, but the next step for us this year, this school year, is to be the family are engaged right now, but we want to reach another level with the students concerning that. So we want to make sure the parents understand why we switched from paper portfolio to digital portfolio. Um, we want to encourage comments and reactions from family. Um, like we're showing you right now, some classes are connected to the family to sending the proofs to the family. Others aren't, and that's all right because the schools that are joining are not using the portfolio for all the same reasons. The one common goal is for that the to develop this pedagogy in our school board for the students to meet to have ownership of their assessment proofs, learning proofs, like I was saying. But some teachers will use the portfolio with families to show learning skills, like the example at the right. Um, it's a small video of a kid, senior kindergarten kid, having learning a new math ability, and the parent responded. The teacher sent it home and the parent responded. Then on the other side, we encourage discussion and reflection at home with that posting, that the teacher, well, it's not the teacher, it's the student that posted in her portfolio. That's junior kindergarten. They had a visit from this little rabbit in the class, so the student decided to post with the rabbit on her portfolio. And that kind of activity that is shared with home is, it's not necessarily to show learning skills, but it's to encourage the discussion and the reflection at home. What's been going on today in your classroom? It's just a way for parents to know what's going on, what are they doing, what's the learning environment. So two different ways of using the portfolio with the family I'm showing you right now, but two efficient ways of using the portfolio, because it doesn't have the same goal, but it gets the family involved in the usage of the digital portfolio and in discussions with their kids and teachers sometimes too.
Yes, a tool is there and can be used in a variety of ways for sure, and
Mm,
so a variety of different goals. And so I think that's why it's important also when challenges arise, as they will, they do.
absolutely.
It's also important to come back to asking you why you decided to go this way at the first place, and go back to your first projection of your main goal, to not lose the big picture as soon as you reach a challenge, for sure, and try to come up with solutions motivated by your initial goal, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like exactly like you're saying, if we look at the impact of the growth, what we've seen during those past year in our school boards, like you just said, Alex, um, it what it did for us, it there was more frequent and meaningful documentation deposited in the digital portfolio. Donc, Spaces Edu provides all the overall expectations and specific expectations from the curriculums, the different programs. They're all in there in the digital portfolio. So if you want, as a teacher, if you see that your kid, that one of the students, or you ask the students to showcase a proof of a specific overall expectation, you can add the tag of it to the work that the students deposit. So that's really a big plus. Our teachers love that because it goes directly in the assessment process of each student. Maybe Alex put one a work that recalls one specific over expectation, nine did another one, but that's fine too. It's a way for the students to, like I was saying earlier, to showcase their work, their strengths, or their next steps in each of their learning proofs. So they can associate to a proof that students find in their portfolio, and teachers can accumulate different and varied evidence of the same expectations or the same content for each student. Another impact of growth for our students is that it increased confidence and communication. Now, I know that I'm using that word a lot, but ownership, it's really important in that pedagogical, conscious, entrepreneurial pedagogy. Ownership of both their strengths and their challenges, encouraging goal setting and determine which strategies are efficient and useful. And like I said earlier, push and support from students. They want to continue collecting their portfolios the next year. Like if you create that habit as young as senior, junior K, first, second, third grade, they will want to continue doing it because it's great for them to have their work all in one little place, and it's so easily accessible. The teacher feedback and board level insights on user growth. So Spaces Edu is part of the assessment process, like I was saying. We It's like the bump it up wall that is in each class is now from selected, can now go directly in each student's portfolio. More and more teachers want to use the digital portfolio, so the entire team is trained to help out. And it's important. Oh, that's one thing that I would say to continue our growth at our school board. It's important to have a school that remains a laboratory and openly welcomes members both from other schools, other schools boards, other the board level, etc. Maybe the next, like, it doesn't need to be always the same school, but for us, one of the success of the Spaces Edu is that we needed to keep that school. It's like a living pineapple chart, but only related to the portfolio. That's something that was helped us grow a lot, and that we want to keep on going.
It's yes, what you describe is quite excellent. I have this vision also whenever I talk about our learning tags at Spaces
Yeah,
EDU,
learning tags.
to be able to apply a tag to any different proof of learning, matching also the district goals actually. I call it the yolk that is needed to create to bake a cake, so that otherwise the cake is completely flat. I mean, just doesn't hold together, you
Ah
know.
oui.
So it's also my visual metaphor for that for sure. It helps to bind everything together in a sensical way also, and ready for a potential evaluation,
Yeah,
assessment
exactly.
of the process.
Yeah. So the like we're showing on the slide from the paper booklet with the bump it up wall that is in the classroom, where kids go put post-its on the board, to the digital portfolio. We're doing exactly the bump it up wall, but each one is individual. And now, so that's just what we wanted to show you. It doesn't mean that the bump it up wall isn't there anymore and that paper is gone. That's not what it means. It just means that we've pushed it to another level, and that's what we want to keep it going. That's where we want to keep it going.
We see also, Hélène, that on the right side you have 5 different categories,
Oh,
sections. Profil de sortie de l'élève would be, I think, the portrait of a graduate,
oh,
I believe,
exactly.
in the US, in the USA, for example. Would you tell us a bit more about that? And then I think if
Sure,
there are any questions, we'll also leave some space for that at the end.
sure. So that's just that's le profil de sortie de l'élève. For us, it's the like the portrait of the students he'll have developed all of his dimensions: intellectual, cultural, physical, from junior kindergarten to grade 12. And why did I put it there with the portfolio? It's because that's also one of our other goals. Next year, we would like students to identify when I was working on that learning skill, or when I put down a strength of one of my work abilities, which dimension was I working on, or was I, maybe they're not conscious of it while they're doing it. That's that's one of the conscious pedagogy. Okay, maybe they weren't conscious of it while they were doing it, but by demanding to identify which dimension are you working on related to the work or whatever proof they just deposited, it gets the student to reflect, okay, we maybe I need to work more on that dimension, or maybe I didn't work enough, or maybe I worked too much on one dimension or whatever. It just uh, gets them to reflect. So that's one um, tags, the tags that we can create. Is that, am I using the right word, Alexandre? The tags that we can create in the
Yeah.
portfolio, we encourage teachers to create those tags of each dimensions with the colors of each dimensions, and so that the student, if the student wants, he can associate each dimension, but the teacher can do it as well. So that's why I've put it there, because it's one of a big part from the bump it up wall to the end. What's the big picture of that student? And each student is capable of doing it if we show them how to do it. Even the smaller ones, each students.
And then they will be able, yes, indeed, to help each other. Maybe the grade
Absolutely.
5 could also visit someday the grade 3,
Oh, absolutely.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That goes on. Yeah, among classes, absolutely, Alex. Yeah, yeah,
the values of transmission for sure.
yeah.
Uh, that was excellent and very insightful. I followed you already this last year, and can't wait to see where it goes also further away as we expand and grow together. It's very
Yeah.
insightful. Thank you very much, Hélène. Do we
Thank
have
you.
any questions in the audience? If not, I will share the poll that you answered at the beginning of the session to have a bit of a discussion about that. Um, there was also a question, I think, about do you have these resources available from a website? If so, can you share the site? We have interested people to uh, to get more about the material and also maybe to showcase at their school, I think, to say, hey, it works. Look at that. And
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
so,
maybe on your site, or I really don't mind sharing, but you are like, I
no,
would
yeah, that's
refer our teachers to do space edu, because you have really good your site is really useful for that, to answer that question. Yeah.
indeed, yes. We actually, Kevin, we made a story also with CSDCEO that is live on the website with also some materials of pictures and videos that you can collect from there for sure. If Tatiana can put the link on the chat, that would be great. It's also very insightful to hear from a teacher's also perspective that we've done the partner stories together. Let me share. I don't know if you see it, but I'll show it right away here. We have a winner, conscious entrepreneurial pedagogy, as you can see here, with 46% of the voters. And then in second place would come mindful, and last place would come intentional. And my question to the audience would be, would you now change your vote compared to your initial answer at the beginning of the session? And why? If anybody, feel free to answer in the chat uh, about your comment here. That's the first time actually, Hélène, that I heard when I met you about pédagogie entrepreneuriale consciente.
Yeah,
Um,
because we know it's
and
there, but we just don't name it. So that's what we did on our school board. We intentionally named it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Would you use then, what would you vote for your answer,
The same,
Hélène?
the conscious entrepreneurial pedagogy. Yeah, for sure. The other ones are accurate as well, but the conscious is more precise.
Mhm. Yes, it's funny how, sometimes we have more words in French to express an idea than English, but here it feels like there are actually three options, or at least two, because we have also intentionnel, but between mindful and conscious, we would just have conscient
Yeah,
in French, I think.
oui, c'est
So
vrai. Yeah.
that's why it's funny also to hear different perspectives from different languages, mindsets. Yeah. Excellent. I think that there are some links that have been shared in the chat. We just leave a few more seconds if there are some questions left or comments of any kind. But before you leave, I want you to use your QR code. Sorry, I will just go like this. Use your smartphone to have a chance to win a $25 gift card by completing the feedback. If you can just use seamlessly your smartphone to grab that QR code and answer the feedback. If you don't, for a long time on my smartphone, I didn't have the option actually to go for QR codes, and I would be, hey, wouldn't they share the link directly in the chat for me who can't use the QR code? Let's do it right away. That would be, oh, there we go. It has been done already, I think, over there. So, okay, better twice than just once. Excellent. So you have access to that. And feel free also, any questions that come up for sure after a night of sleep, you would, I would have liked to ask Hélène or Alex this question or that question. Feel free to use also hello@spaces.com. It will be at some point directed to me and we can answer together with Hélène if need be. No problem. We are, as Hélène said, we are approachable and reachable. So no problem about that. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much for the different comments.
Yes.
How do you feel, Hélène? You're okay now?
Oh yes, it was great to be with you. Thanks for having us. It was really interesting. Yes. Thank you
Excellent. Thank you very much, Hélène, for your presence and passion.
for the participants as well. Thanks for your time for being with us.
Merci beaucoup. And we will just shut down the recording now. Thank you, Tatiana, for that.